Welcome to the comic zone.
What's going on, nerds? I'm DJ Nyke.
I'm Mike.
I'm Bill.
Comix Zone. We got OSH from the Ghost here. The man, the myth,
The legend.
the legend.
What's going on, Comic Zone people?
What up? Welcome.
Yes,
Thanks
I love
for
it.
being here, buddy.
I love it here. I get excited every time I come here. I love it.
I was hanging with him probably like a week ago, and like I showed up, he's watching The Sopranos, and then I end up like chilling there for like an hour, just talking about
Gangster
shit. And I was like,
yeah.
we gotta just do a whole podcast on gangster movies, and that's what we're talking about this time.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
And that's like one of your favorite things. Apparently, like you really just dig deep into the history.
I'm a novice mafia historian. To say it lightly, I've literally been like deep diving into the mafia since I was like 14 years old. I grow my pinky nails because of mafia shit since I was 14 years old.
And not only that, but you were recommending me like books and
Oh yeah,
all kinds of.
like I said, I deep dive. I'm listening. I just finished Joe Bonanno's memoir.
So
Oh, shit.
Days ago.
I figured we could fill a whole episode just talking about this shit. I'm sure you got plenty to tell us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
About all that for damn.
Anywhere we want to start, I'm gonna go there. We could go there.
We got anything?
So what do you think is the most historically accurate in flavor and everything as far as gangster movies, gangster shows, as far as the history that you've read, that you're the most impressed with?
like accurate?
Yeah, or just flavor everything.
The most accurate that I've watched was probably one of the most boring was the Gotti movie from the 90s. I forget the actor's name. He's a really well-known
One that was just
actor.
Gotti, or
Yeah, it was but not the John Travolta one.
Mm-hmm.
The John Travolta one, I love John Travolta. I didn't like him as John Gotti. I would just say it that way. But that one was kind of from the brain of the son, so it was his version of events.
So he was like there though.
Yeah, he was.
You know
But
what
I mean, also, how would you tell a story of your hero who is your father? You know what I mean?
It's like his truth.
Yeah, there you go.
Armand Asante was the 1996 TV movie.
There you go. That guy. So that one was the most accurate. Next accurate was Casino.
Great.
But they had a couple timeline. Like, remember when he smashed the dude's head in the vice?
Yeah.
That happened while he was still in Chicago before he went to Vegas. That was one of the reasons why he ended up going out
And he
to
popped
Vegas.
his eyeball out of
Yeah,
his
he was beefing with some Irish gang
So you made me
in
pop my
Chicago.
fucking, make you pop your eyeball out of your head for fucking whatever the dude's name
Yeah.
was. He said, "For that motherfucker, you're gonna make me pop your eyeball out."
They got a lot of their info from I'm forgetting his name. Frank, he was the right hand man of the little guy, the Joe Pesci guy.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, Frank Collada was his name. So they got a lot of
Just
their
watched that like
backstory
a couple
from Frank
months ago.
Collada.
I just watched that a couple months ago. That movie pisses me off just because it's like it's so awesome in the beginning, and then by the end everybody's just snitching on each other.
That's
how it all.
It happens most of the
That's
time
what I
that
hate
way, though.
about it.
But see, that's real life. See, the problem is,
know.
you know what I mean? We've been so used to watching fictional movies and shit that we forget about, you know what I'm saying? When people's lives
So
are on
is
the
the
line.
gangster shit real or not?
Well, it is.
to a degree, but here's the thing.
Gangster until the shit gets real, or what?
That's the thing. Barely anybody keeps it real when it comes to that, bro. Like what I was telling you that the other day, they didn't invent the witness protection program because of dudes like us. They did it because of the mafia, bro.
Yeah.
The most hardcore of the hardcore. That's why they invented all this
You did
shit.
say that the other day too.
You know what I mean?
Like
So
it's not for the dude down the. I think you said something like it's not for the dude down the street.
Yeah, it's never the
Snitching
street
on his
dudes.
homies,
Yeah,
like-
it's never the street dudes. I remember DJ Vlad. You know what I'm saying? He does Vlad TV. It's one of the biggest vlogs on YouTube and shit. He does like all of the mob people like that are still alive, especially like after they get out of prison and shit.
Frank Collada was on that.
Yeah,
I was just talking
you know
about.
what I mean? And half the guys that he talks to, you know what I mean, that are still alive, that got away with whatever the fuck
They're all
they did.
informers.
Yeah. Every single one of them.
Right now, the biggest mafia podcast on the internet right now is Sammy the Bull Gravano. The underboss who sold out John Gotti, bro. Like, it doesn't get no more.
How crazy is that?
Think
That
about
ain't
one of
fucking-
the most notorious. What's the most notorious mafia movie ever? Just right now. Boom.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Okay, so listen, it's all from the point of view of a snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking
Henry Hill
about.
was,
What were
he
you?
was a snitch.
Yeah,
And that one was based on the what was the Lufthansa hit, that airport shit.
Lufthansa heist.
weren't-
Yep,
Yeah.
I've read 2 books on that. Yeah.
And that shit is crazy because by inflation states, like even right now, like, you know what I'm saying, you think about the economy and shit, that was the biggest heist ever.
The biggest cash heist ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, in America. Yeah. With inflation. Yep. It was cash and jewels.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's a guy on.
Doesn't get more gangster than Cash and Jewels, right?
There's a guy right now on
Or
YouTube.
you're a pirate.
Named Anthony Ruggiano. His dad was named Fat Andy. His dad is the one who fenced all the jewels from the Lufthansa heist.
Nice.
So you can see him on YouTube, bro. Like, there's literally a book that was like the most informative mafia book I've ever read was called Five Families. It's by a dude named Sloan Selwyn. He's on every single mafia documentary that you could think of.
Is that the one you were telling me about?
Or Selwyn Robb,
Yeah,
not Sloan Selwyn.
your
Selwyn
place.
Robb is this dude's name. He's like a little Jewish dude, but he's like, I think he used to be a prosecutor in New York, and now he's a mob historian. But he's on like every single mafia documentary. And he wrote this book. It's called Five Families. It's
I think
amazing.
you were telling me about that one.
I mean, I've read one. It's called Gotti's Boys. It's about John Gotti and his uprise. Carmine the Snake. It's about Carmine the Snake Persico and his uprise. Man, so many, bro. So many.
So what if you wanted to start talking about like shows? Let's like pick a movie.
For me, I'm gonna go with Untouchables.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's an older film. Like, it was one of the first things I ever saw Andy Garcia in, Sean Connery in it. But yo, as far as being based on a true story, man, they got a lot of that shit right. You know what I mean?
It was cheesy, but I mean, a lot of the factual historical stuff was right.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cheesy, but I mean, I like The Untouchables. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it,
But you're a little bit younger than I am too. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was when that movie came out in like the early '80s. Like, that was next to like Scarface and shit like that. As far as it being, first of all, it's a period piece, so it took place in like the 30s and shit like that. They did an excellent job with making it look like it was the 30s, and it's
So
one of my
are
all-time
we only
favorites.
talking about like the mafia, or are we talking just like any gangster?
Let's
movie?
just stick to any gangster.
Any
We could even
gangster.
go to like
Because like
New Jack City,
yeah, there we go. You know what I mean?
Colors.
I was just watching. Well, it's not really gangster, but I mean,
That's more gangbanger
Yeah.
colors.
I was
yeah.
just watching Wolf of Wall Street. and
Right.
just,
I just watched that like 2 nights ago.
Bro, that movie's amazing.
I owned
Like,
that
how
shit
cool
for
is
2
that
years.
fucking movie?
I had that shit for 2
When
years
he's
before I actually
blowing
watched
coke up,
it.
when he's blowing coke up the hooker's ass, like 10 minutes into the movie,
Yeah.
and then he's like,
The shit with his
he
Lamborghini.
like slaps her ass and keeps like blowing.
The
coke
shit
up.
with the
I'm
Lamborghini
like,
was the
Yeah,
funniest
that was-
shit
Oh, yeah.
ever.
Oh, yeah,
yo.
when
he
he's on the
literally should have
Quaalude.
won awards for that scene
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
He was on the
that scene
Quaalude.
was
Yeah,
amazing.
I was on the floor. I was crying, laughing so
so
hard. You know what I mean?
funny. Yeah.
And then, if you've ever, don't do this for any young folks that's watching, you know what I'm saying, or listening. But if you've ever been drunk or high and driven home and not remember the drive, you know what I mean? And he was
And
like,
he's like, I got
got
home
home safe.
No problem. I was going so slow.
And then he comes home and that Countach was
But
fucked up when he woke
when
up.
it shows him driving the first time, he's like
all
real
slow and
Yeah.
He's
cautious.
like-
Yeah.
But then when it shows him for real, he's just hitting literally
Everything, yeah. So I've had one of them times before.
fucking-
Not where I hit everything, but I woke up and was like, "Oh, please let my car be in one spot. Please let it be okay." You know what I mean?
The fucking doors are wide open. and
Yeah.
shit.
I did that. I woke up on my brother's baby's mom's bathroom floor. She's kicking me like, "Oh shit, get the fuck up. Get off that floor." So I was like, "Oh shit, I'm late for work." And I take off. My car's not in front of her house. So I'm like, "Shit." I look down the block. My car's parked ass out like I was parking on the like Center Street or Second Street or something. You know how
Right.
the ass goes like that?
Yeah.
Not the way you're supposed to. Ass out, all 4 doors open. Keys
Like
still in the
up on
ignition
fucking
and my lights
sidewalk.
on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, bro.
Thank goodness for Wyoming.
Yeah.
Where you're less likely to get
Hey,
carjacked.
thank goodness for the era. That was in like 2004.
Right.
Well, fuck's sake.
I would have seen 17 cops in 4 blocks and now.
Oh my god.
There's no way.
Hey, I had one of my homegirls just hit me up on Snap and said there was like 15 cops over by where I live. You know what I mean? Right across from the mall where that new Mexican restaurant opened up. She was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm not even home. I saw that shit when I was leaving and got the fuck out of Dodge."
Yeah, Casper cops are bored. Every time I see one, bro, literally yell out the window, "Get a job!"
Fight him.
Fucking extortionists. Since we're talking about mafia, shit. Police are goddamn
The biggest
professional
gang in the world.
extortionists, for sure. Bro, When you go to work every day, your 9 to 5 is to extort the public. How many crimes are they preventing? Hold on. How many crimes are they preventing?
Probably not many.
Okay, on the back end, how much money are they taking out of normal taxpayers' wallets that are already paying taxes? We're paying their salary, and then they're extorting us, bro.
Then they treat you like shit.
That part. For what?
And we're minorities, so however bad they treat y'all, multiply that shit by like 10.
Definitely, but I'm just saying, then they like treat people like trash. And
Yeah.
then it's
Bro,
like,
I was at Crimson
you literally
Dawn.
work for me.
I was at Crimson Dawn, bro. Crimson Dawn, the witch festival.
Right.
I'm like one of 12 dudes at the whole fucking place, bro. I'm wearing this, okay? So where I carry this is my handbag,
camera,
right? I carry my
right.
wallet in it, my keys, my money, my
purse.
phone. Yeah, you know what I mean? My daughter's shit. It's essentially a man purse. Okay? Anyway, point of the story, at the fucking witch festival, the most harmless of all places, right? Sheriffs, boom, beeline straight up to me. The motherfucker grabs my bag and is squeezing it, bro. Like, bro, what
Ball
are you
bag or
looking
that
for?
bag?
I would have preferred my ball bag. It would have been more entertaining, at least. You know what I mean?
You're like,
I knew-
hey man, we just met, but
I
damn.
knew what he was looking for. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
In front of my kid, don't be a douchebag.
Yeah, that's foul.
That is fucked up.
But anyways,
Somebody grab my balls, I'd be pissed.
you said Wolf of Wall Street, Untouchables.
As far
What you
as
say, Bill?
Bill,
realistic,
get your shit together,
Oh,
man.
I think we steered away from the
I
real.
forgot what the question was. I went.
You got to pick a gangster movie.
Yes,
It could be any kind of gangster movie, though. What did you? He did say something. What did you say?
Colors.
No,
that
he
was
said something.
That was
else.
talking about just different flavors of gangster movies.
I am a nightmare.
What would be like your favorite like gangster movie?
So the
Or TV show.
Because it's like The Town, a gangster movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think so.
I think
yeah.
so.
I was thinking about this one before. Now I'm totally drawing a blank. It's a Quentin Tarantino,
Oh, I got you.
Pulp Fiction.
not Pulp Fiction,
It's a
but the one
gangster
before
movie.
it. The
Oh, Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
say
that's-
True
Is it-
Romance.
is
True
it-
Romance had some
It's
mafia
a
stuff
heist
in it.
movie.
I mean heist, but gangster.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all, like,
I love Reservoir
professional.
Dogs for sure.
You know, just the way they told the story and the non-linear way of how it kind of
Very
fell apart.
Tarantino-esque.
Yeah.
And having a low budget and how well, you know what I mean? He went for a low, like they wore all their own clothes for that. And he had big name people in there. And that was like his first out of college film, man. I love Reservoir Dogs.
Me too.
That'll forever be a classic to me, you know what I mean?
I love all Tarantino except Hateful Eight.
Oh, see, I like that one too.
I can't do the drawn out.
I like the Hateful Eight,
the
but I
Samuel
mean, I
L.
could get,
story.
I could
can't
get
do
why
that.
his sucking the.
I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I don't give.
Son
It's
sucking
why
his
do I
dick.
got? Okay, that's what happened. But why do I got to listen to the whole graphic story for 9 minutes?
Yeah.
You've
That's
told
not
me this.
enjoyable. That's
He's
Passion
told
of the
me-
Christ-ish. Like, okay, one and done. I'm good.
You know what? I looked at it, and I'm not going to say I enjoyed the sex scene part of it, but I enjoyed the fact that this black man was getting over on this racist white dude. So I laughed through the whole thing. It wasn't as comfortable for me because it was like, yeah, motherfucker.
I thought it was funny.
You know what I mean? Plus, honestly, they never really said if he was telling the truth or not. He was trying to get that old dude to
I'm
pull the gun on him.
uncomfortable
trying
for
to
the
get-
record with any fucking rape scene, let alone a gay rape scene.
Right.
Like,
He
that
probably
shit
never
ain't
met
tight.
that dude's son.
Yeah, like I said, he was just trying to get him to pull his
just
gun
Get under his
first.
skin. Yeah.
And it worked. You know what I mean?
That's cool, but he could have. I mean, like I said, my only issue with the whole thing was how drawn out it was. Like all that for real. Come on. I would have
He's
rather
told
watch
me this-
Tarantino lick feet for 2 minutes than listen to that story.
That's Death Till Dawn. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I
Right.
would rather. Yeah.
Well, yo, I will say one of my favorite films, probably in the gangster genre, is Paid in Full. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen
I
that.
love Paid in Full.
It's based on a true story.
story. Yes, very true.
Rich and Poe, they were big Harlem drug kingpins, and one of them was actually still alive. He got murdered after he got out.
They're AZ Faison's
Yeah.
on Vlad. You can watch AZ Faison on Vlad. He tells the whole story.
But yeah, he got murdered like back on Harlem's on the streets after he had served like this 20, 30-year bid, had been in protective custody, and then, you know, he thought everything was everything. and-
Alpo.
yeah.
Alpo, he was like a killer. He killed all kinds of people. Bounced from Harlem to DC, started killing more people. Told on a bunch of people when he got caught. Went and did a bunch of time. Got out like he was still the king of Harlem, and they got his ass.
Yeah. Pulled up next to his SUV. Clack, 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 clack.
Got his ass.
You know? But I like that film, like, for one, because it's very realistic. because they got like a lot of street dudes to be in it that weren't actual rappers. Like my man Cameron, he's one of my favorite rappers.
He killed it.
And he'll tell you he sucks at acting, but he pulled that part because, you know what I mean? He looked up to them dudes, you know what I mean?
In real life.
Yeah. So it was really easy for him to do that. He got the speech down right. There's a scene where he pulls this motherfucker out of a car and he punches him in the face for real. And like he punches this motherfucker for real. And he was like the dude was shooting.
What movie?
It's called Paid in Full.
Paid in Full.
Okay.
Mackay Fife.
I was like,
Cameron.
have you seen ATL?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good gangster movie too.
ATL?
Don't you think?
Bro, they're roller skating.
Well, I know, but that part sucks. But like,
I mean,
the
Big
shit
Boy
that-
was gangster
yeah, Big
in
Boy
it.
was
Yeah.
gangster. In
The
that.
little kid gets chocolate milk on his shirt and shit. Come on, bro. That movie ain't gangster.
Nah. Yeah, see, that's the first. That was what I was thinking. The roller skate movie.
rollers. All
Damn,
right,
Cluffy's hard, bro. Cluffy's hard. All right. For me personally, my all-time favorite is The Sopranos, the TV show. Love it. The layers. There's 80 episodes. You know what I mean? They're all hour long. You can't go wrong there. That's 40 movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like I said, just the layers, how you go through it, his family life, his mafia life, the associates, all their lives, his mom and his uncle try to get him killed, you know, all that
His
stuff.
mom tries to off him.
Yeah. So
I mean,
all that stuff is really what I enjoyed was the layers.
In The Sopranos.
Yes.
Yes, dude. Like, yeah, that movie.
TV show.
Okay, that show. And I only watched it like recently. I know how old it is, and I was like super behind everybody. But after I watched it, I was like, it takes a minute to get rolling, and I'm not like a huge.
The pilot episode's kind of slow, or slower than what you would expect from a mafia
Right.
show, but
I think it was the time that it came out. I think
Well,
when it
because
was
it's-
new and when it was fresh, I think it was on par, and especially with like HBO kind of style, where they're used to, hey, I've got the time to kind of set this up.
Right.
But then you also notice the cinematic change through the show, you know, with the directing and the camera angles and stuff like that. So it gets more cinematic throughout
does.
it, rather than, you know, the up close shots of the faces where it's more TV showish. So I like that, how they smoothed it out. Also, one thing that I noticed, it's about season 3-ish, Tony's accent gets way more these guys, those guys, you know, like it gets way more
That
hardcore.
deep East Coast Italian shit.
Yeah, so the first 2 seasons, he does good. You know, I still love it, but I've rewatched it a million times. But I usually start on season 3 is when I restart when it starts getting a little bit more dark with the shit with Chris, with his girlfriend Adriana.
Kills his dog.
Yeah,
when he
sits on the dog.
when he sits on the fucking dog.
I haven't seen that. I'll be honest. I've seen the show, but not all of them. And I enjoyed it when I watched it, but never enough for me to go back and start from the beginning and watch them all. And I think it's probably because, you know, everything wasn't streaming back then. Like now, you know, with all the streaming services, you don't even have to buy shit. You can, you know, watch it at your leisure. But, you know, during the time, I was one of them people that if something's hot, I'm gonna watch it later. I didn't want to ride the bandwagon.
That's
you know
like
what I
Game
mean?
of Thrones. I didn't watch it until
Season 7 was season 7 was on TV when I started Game of
Bro,
Thrones.
but it ended up being really good, and I was like pissed. I'm like, fuck. I'm not that guy anymore. I used
Me
to be
neither.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not watching it because everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
I did
used
that
to
with
be that
Lost.
guy.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to be that guy for sure. That it's the dumbest.
There's still
thing.
some. I haven't seen The Big Lebowski. Every time someone suggests it to me, it pushes me back like 10
but
years.
like when it first came out, you know what I mean? It's not one that I wanted to rewatch.
I didn't get it. It didn't catch me like it did others. The humor was kind of lost on me, and I never got
It seemed
the
like
appeal.
something that I would enjoy, but like I said, the more people try to press it on me, I'm very Aquarius. I'm like, yeah, you know, I got to be super independent. It's got to be my idea for me to want to do it.
It's more like the sound, like the sound clips and the quotes are more
the only
entertaining
thing that
than the
got me to
movie.
watch Game of Thrones was I was on Facebook and I saw the fight between the Mountain and Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I forget his name in Game of Thrones, but
He was bisexual. I want to talk about shit that was hard to watch. There was a scene with him getting with girls and dudes at the same time.
Spartacus, dog. I can't.
Yeah.
My
yeah,
brother.
that shit happened a long time ago on that show.
My brother would literally binge any show that's on. So
I gotta-
he's binged Spartacus. What's the other one? It's about black fools somewhere. It's like not newer. God damn it! I wish I It's about a P-Town. Have you seen it?
No, I didn't even heard of that one.
P-ville or P-Town or some shit like that. It's about a strip club. Bro, so much gayness going on. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you watching? Like,
Dude,
every time I come down, you're watching Shameless or Spartacus.
Bro, I was
whatever
like,
the fuck this
back in
is.
the
Like,
day.
bro.
I was like watching Spartacus, and I was like, all right, there's some gay shit, whatever.
But you got to know during those times.
Yeah, it was the era for sure. But like I said, it doesn't mean it's appealing enough to make me want to visually. This is what I'm going to choose to watch.
I had just got my wife, or I had just gotten with her like a couple months before.
Right.
We were still dating and shit, and I was like, oh, this show's pretty cool because I had like watched the first couple seasons, and like I turn it on, and the first thing is like a couple dudes like fucking kissing with their dicks out, and she's like, oh, this is a good show. Huh?
What are you trying to say, bro?
Hey, right now I got on all of the, you know what I'm saying, the pride shit, straight against hate. And you want to know what?
No.
Like,
be you. It's
Yeah.
no hate. It's no hate. But
not
it's
me.
the same as I've been around gay people who've seen straight people kissing and they're like, ew. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not appealing to them.
Yeah.
It's no hate. It's just,
it's not my thing.
I like squirt. I don't like Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their thing.
We all like
Everybody's
squirt.
got their thing. Everybody's got their own flavor.
Word.
But yeah, so my thing definitely is Sopranos. Like I said, though, I'm well versed in all of them. Like pretty much any mafia movie you could think of, I've probably seen it. Have you seen Hoodlum?
Yeah, I mean, that's on my list. All right. The thing I like about Hoodlum, like I'd say it's almost like a prequel to other films that
American Gangster.
it like takes place before what's the guy's name?
Bumpy Johnson.
Bumpy Johnson. It like shows things with him and Lucky Luciano.
What the fuck kind of name is that, Bumpy Johnson?
His name is Ellsworth.
Yeah. Why do you think they called him Bumpy? You know what I mean?
What the fuck?
But these are real motherfucking people, and these were real stories. And you know what I'm saying?
That dude ran Harlem for decades.
And they're calling him Bumpy Dick?
Bumpy Johnson.
No, Bumpy Johnson.
No,
this motherfucker.
Bumpy Johnson.
They're calling him
Bumpy
Herpy
Dick
Dick?
Johnson.
They're calling him Herpy
Be glad
Dick.
you're in Wyoming. That shit would get you beat in Harlem. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That motherfucker was a
legend.
Yeah, legend.
Hey, he was top notch too. He was one of the only ones because Frank Lucas snitched. Who's the other one? Nicky Barnes.
Yep.
Nicky Barnes snitched. Alpo snitched.
Yep.
They all
AZ
snitch.
Faison
That's like-
snitched.
Dude, that's what bothers me about all this shit is I love it until the end. Because it always ends up in everybody.
But it's all greed. Greed
Yeah,
corrupts,
but
and
this
then
is-
everybody wants some more.
That's always the tale, though.
But see, here's the difference, and this is what the point I was trying to make when we first started talking about the snitching. It's never the street level dudes that are doing the snitching. You know what I'm saying? It's always the higher, like the.
But what has the street level dude got to offer that the cops want? You know what I mean?
Nothing.
It's the big
Nothing.
dogs. They
They
want
don't
all
know
the
damn
info.
thing.
They don't want to know you made $1,500 this week. They want to know who made $1 million this week.
Yeah.
Or they take the street level guy to get the next guy up.
Yeah.
Layer
Keep
up.
doing it that way, yeah. The one thing I will say about Frank Lucas, though, he snitched, but he snitched more on crooked cops. Like when he snitched, I mean,
he snitched on
people.
like how
Yeah.
many of his brothers did he
snitched
have? He
on
snitched on
everybody.
all of his brothers.
He had
bro.
like 8 brothers and a bunch of cousins.
Yeah, bro.
But-
come on, that's the worst part.
True, but yo,
That's the worst part.
And he's the one that put him on.
That's the worst
Yeah.
part. Oh,
But
fuck.
The
Frank
New York
Lucas.
City
Fuck Frank
Police
Lucas.
Department was so corrupt back then. They say he took down like 65% of the crooked cops in New York City. Not just one borough, not just Harlem. You know what I mean? We're talking all of New York City.
See, and here's
That's
another thing that
crazy.
fucks me up about snitches and informants is whose job is it to investigate and solve crimes? The cops, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you're in high school and someone else did your SATs for you, who's getting the credit, right? You're both gonna get in trouble because you didn't fucking do your own goddamn work. The only lane where you can do that is being a cop. Have someone else do all your work for you. You get all the credits.
Record labels too.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of professions.
I mean,
where that happens.
there is for sure, but I mean, to be professional extorters and to have little to no repercussion.
That's kind of why I brought up Wolf of Wall Street. It's that kind of tale too. Is like he's all glamorous. The whole movie's like showing off all the shit he's doing, but he's clearly like
He's robbing people.
unhinged and
Oh yeah,
robbing
yeah,
people.
he was a dirtbag.
And then
for
by
sure.
the end, it ends fucking horrible.
But that's
They're
with
all
every movie, bro.
they're
Like
all
Tony,
snitching
like
on each other.
The Sopranos, bro. You can't name one character in the whole show, not one that didn't do something dirtbag, not one.
Well, they're dirtbags.
What about the mom?
She was a super dirtbag.
This is what I'm saying.
Carmela or Tony's
Yeah,
mom?
Carmela.
She had sex while she was still married, right?
Yeah.
And she's a Catholic.
Meadow.
So by my
Meadow was a
standards,
dick.
that's not bad. Meadow was a super
Drugs.
ungrateful little fucking bitch, and she did meth.
Okay, so hear me out.
And then the son was
He
starting
was a
to
super
deal.
douchebag. God, I can't stand him the most.
Hear me out. Hear me out. So, like, if there's no honor among thieves, right? So then a code of conduct among
Like a street code is what you mean? You like referring
is that
to?
like a is what counterproductive, or what am I trying to say? Is it like
They work against each other.
Yes, they don't make sense.
They don't, but like I'm saying, but that's
They're
what I'm saying.
contradicting.
Yeah, the whole
like-
when you think about people, like if you're a street level guy, even if you're the top of the street level guys,
So that's why gang shit never works.
but that's what I'm saying. Like these motherfuckers go to prison, they find out you fucking snitch, you're getting shanked.
So I
shot,
got a
killed.
list of dudes I just off top mafia dudes that didn't snitch and got the 100 years. Carmine Persico didn't tell on nobody. Fat Tony Salerno didn't.
There
tell
are
on
real
nobody.
gangsters.
There are, but they get the 100 years, so you don't get to hear their stories.
Right.
You get to hear the stories of the dudes that went and did 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, and now they're out.
They can't go talk
And they
to
can
them in
sell their
prison.
story to
Nobody can
Hollywood.
go into the
You
prison.
know what's fucked up? When I went to prison, that was part of my court order. Is I'm not allowed to profit off my crimes in any way, so I couldn't tell that story and make money.
What?
Yes.
What do you mean?
I put it on my podcast though. Check it out. OSH knows.
What do you mean? What? No. You had to sign a contract.
It's part of the sentencing. Yeah,
What?
for the plea agreement. Yeah.
Why? What the fuck?
less time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, think about this, bro. There's a lot of
giving you
there's
less
a
time
lot
to
of
say you
murderers.
won't.
So if it's a plea agreement.
It's a plea agreement, so you don't get the plea deal if you don't
But you-
agree to the terms.
But they're like they can put that in there to be
so it's,
like
here's your 4 to 7 you can have, or here's your maxed out 10 years. You know what I mean? If you don't sign the plea deal.
right, and everybody's gonna take the plea. Like so, everybody's gangster until they get that piece of paper slapped in front of
But,
them.
but there's a difference between taking a plea, you know what I'm saying, than actually snitching.
Yes.
Snitching, you're telling on somebody. A plea deal is like, let's
You're
say,
admitting your own guilt. Yeah, I didn't have to tell on my co-defendant by taking a plea deal. I was admitting my own guilt to my charges.
Right. You just leave everybody else out of it, and that's like
Well, my shit was super up, bro. They
supposed to be
knew
what-
what
and I'm
everybody was
sure
doing, so they
prison
didn't
is-
have to solve any crimes.
I'm sure
There was a million
prison is
witnesses.
full of dudes that they never snitched on nobody.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So,
but I mean,
like,
here's your polar opposite. There's prisons full of sex offenders. Not just
right.
a percentage, 100% of the whole entire population. That's another thing that bothers me about Wyoming people who are so uncultured to the ways of other parts of America.
right?
Bro, fucking here everybody's like, oh, there's so many sex offenders and there's so many snitches. Like, you obviously have never been anywhere.
Facts.
There are whole entire prisons in other states for sex
Yeah,
offenders.
full of dudes that never snitched.
That too.
And
Yeah, but
full-
we're talking
full
about-
of dudes that like rapists and shit. For damn sure.
I mean, a lot of the time, like in my case, there didn't even have to be a snitch because we pulled up in a car and there was 20 people standing right there, and then we all got caught red-handed by the cops in a high-speed
Right.
chase. So, I mean,
Right.
what was there to tell? They knew, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, and they're not like trying to like bust like
The head of an organization.
right. I mean, but if it did come to that, that's when it would all that would
Want to
happen.
know something fucked up about that?
Uh-oh.
In my sentencing, District Attorney Michael Blonigan, this douchebag, he goes, bro, he was trying to play the whole shit off like gang shit, but the shooter in my case was a white guy. Normal, not gang affiliated, nothing. He was just blacked out drunk with a pistol, acting dumb. So anyway, it comes my sentencing date. They completely separate me from my co-defendant like I'm the shooter.
What?
Yeah, watch it on my podcast. Anyways, the
Where do you find that?
OSH knows on YouTube.
There you
Yeah,
go.
boy.
You got that.
OSH, OSH knows.
Shameless plug.
On
There you
YouTube. Anyway, so the DA, he's trying to play the whole shit off like it's gang shit, right? So my character witnesses at my sentencing is my grandpa, who's a pastor, my army recruiter, my drug counselor, and my girlfriend. Super innocent. Remember how Keela was back in the day? Small boys,
Yeah.
you know, like prissy kind of. So anyway, she's wearing a Christmas sweater, dog, or a sweater with the Christmas tree on it. The background, the main color of the sweater is red, and there's a gigantic Christmas tree on it, right? So the DA go through everybody, bro. He didn't ask my grandpa one question. He didn't ask my army recruiter one question. He didn't ask my drug counselor one question. My girlfriend comes up. He goes, what's your name and this and this and this for the record, the basic shit. She gets it out of the way. The first question he asked her, why are you wearing that sweater? She's like, because it's cute. It's Christmas time. Bro, tiniest mousy voice in the world, bro. It's cute. It's Christmas time, he goes. Yells at her, you're wearing that because that's his gang colors. I have no more questions, Your Honor.
That's foul.
What?
They do that shit.
That's exactly how it went, dog.
Do that shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Anyways,
She
that's
said it's Christmas time. They were like,
dog,
hell
there's
to
a
the...
fucking Christmas tree on the sweater. Like, how do you confuse that with anything other than? There's not. It wasn't a paisley design. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
like
it
a
doesn't,
bandana.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
we
if you
didn't
could
get
just
that.
like plant that in people's minds and shit.
That's what they. Yeah, that's their. Whole
He's a
job.
gang member. He's
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, you can watch it on OSH Knows. We're not going to tie up this one with that.
No.
All right. So what other movies we got on there?
So I have to go with Scarface.
Yes.
I mean,
Of course.
and just the utter brutality of it, and the Cuban kind of gangster style, and just the
What's it called? The
80s.
hero's journey.
downward spiral of it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. First of all, the American dream, and then the
Then the-
spiral
yeah.
from it. You know what I'm saying?
the
Because the whole
rise
first,
and fall.
the first half was him going up. You know what I mean? It was like, and then the whole second half was his
Yeah,
demise.
His fucking downward plunge. Into
And by the way, I want to mention this for all the Wyoming people that are listening. I have never been anywhere where I met a whole bunch of 25 and younger people that had never seen Scarface until I moved here. I mean, all races. I was like, what? I saw Scarface the first time on TV when I was like 7.
Dog, I was watching reaction videos today. This group full of like 20-something-year-old black dudes that never heard Bone Thugs.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, they was reacting to Bone Thugs.
Oh, young kids?
They were like
Well,
20,
20.
21, 22.
They never heard.
Never heard Bone Thugs. They was reacting to
That
Bone
makes
Thugs
me
videos.
feel old as fuck.
Yeah.
It should.
And they were probably like, oh shit, this is.
Bro, they were straight up like, damn, I can't believe I never heard this before. They're all trying to like do the melodies in the back. You know what I mean? All that shit.
See, I was 25 when I moved back to Wyoming. You know what I mean?
Must be close
And
to
there was
Armageddon,
so many people that had never seen that film. You know what I mean?
Scarface?
Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm not going to lie. When I got to boot camp, Marine Corps boot camp in 1995, and the first time we got to shoot the M203 grenade launcher that's under the M16, which is the gun he had at the end when he was taking out like that whole army that they sent
Oh,
to
yeah.
get him. You know what I mean?
Say hello.
Yeah. Say hello to my little friend. So I'd been watching that since I was 7 years old. Keep in mind, that shit came on TV. It was a 5-day event, Monday through Friday.
Was
You know
that
what
the
I mean?
first gangster movie you seen?
That's the first one I remember. You know what I
First
mean?
gangster movie I ever saw was Pulp Fiction.
I forget you younger than us, too.
I'd have to. I
Well,
almost
not
think it
maybe
would
not
be
the
Godfather.
Godfather was my first one.
I mean,
but I was too young to understand it.
Or Goodfellas. I think Goodfellas is the
Goodfellas
first one
was
that
my
really.
first for sure.
and
Because I
it's-
remember the stabbing scene. I was probably like 7.
It might be
We
like
were teens when Goodfellas came
it
out.
could
though.
be Blood In, Blood Out too, because I've seen that like a million times, and I think I saw that. I can't remember if I saw that.
I was probably
before.
later elementary by the time I
What,
seen that.
what year did that come out, Bill?
We were youngsters,
I got
bro.
you.
91, 90.
Blood In,
'Cause-
Blood
'cause,
Out. I've never even seen it.
Because
Mexican Mafia.
Yeah,
Pulp
it's a good
Fiction
one.
is.
It's a fictional Mexican mafia. So the real Mexican mafia is called MA. They called this La Onda. It's kind of like a play on Cosa Nostra means our thing.
What is
La
that?
MA is kind of like the same thing, like our thing.
What does La Onda mean?
La Onda? Yeah, it's kind of like what I was just. It's like a play on Cosa Nostra, like our thing, but the Mexican version. What are we getting, Nike? What year?
Damn, I can't even find it. Holy shit.
Blood In, Blood Out. It's a classic.
yeah. I mean, that's, if you're talking gangster movies, you can't talk about gangster movies.
So
You
then
wanna
you got
talk
American
about
Me
all-
also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's crazy. The last time I went and see my grandpa, he was doing his cancer treatments in Salt Lake, and that's the movie he picked for us to watch.
Blood In, Blood Out came
All
out in
right, Grandpa.
You're
93. So
like,
I was
all right,
fucking,
hell yeah,
I was 17 when that one came out. You know what I mean?
I was 6.
What year?
93.
All right, so that came out a year before Pulp Fiction.
But see, I don't look at, like, it had gangster elements, but I don't look at that one as a gangster film.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Blood In, Blood
Me
Out.
either.
No, it is a gangster movie.
No,
Pulp Fiction?
Pulp
The
Fiction.
part, yeah,
I don't
it's all
look at
about
it as a gangster
shit.
flick. No, it's
Nah,
not.
really, no.
You're
There's
looking
about-
at it different, bro. You're looking at like hard
like a fictionalized-
activities as gangster. There's
No,
a
they-
difference
that-
of
it
like
is a-
gang related and
There were-
gang
John
activities.
It was
Travolta and-
sponsored by like the head people in there, like Marcellus Willis, were
Yeah, he was a
gangsters.
gangster, and
But
well, the
I could see.
hitman.
I could see either way. I mean, I could see why it's classified, but I don't. I would agree that's not a true gangster, like compared to Goodfellas.
Facts.
Or
Outside
to,
of Reservoir Dogs, I wouldn't classify any Tarantino movie as a
Same.
gangster movie.
Same. Personally.
Personally, yeah.
They're doing gangster shit in it.
See, that's what I'm
But
saying.
there's
That's
a
the
difference.
even Reservoir Dogs, I think you could make a little bit of the same argument.
Yeah, because it's a heist movie.
But they were an actual physical like crew of guys
Yeah, but
doing shit.
they're
It
gangster,
wasn't
but it's
like
not
one
about,
guy
like,
out
gangster
just
shit.
doing hard shit that you're calling gangster.
Oh,
It was
it's
a
the
gang
same-
of
I'm saying
people.
it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Doing gangster shit
Then is
and being
the,
gang.
then is the Goonies a gang movie?
I mean, by definition, a gang. We're talking about gangster.
Gangster.
When I say gangster, I'm thinking mob or organized crime.
There
I
you
guess
go.
that's
Organized
what we should
crime.
say is
That's
organized
what
crime.
Marcellus Wallace was, though.
He was, but think about that was
He was one of like
He was
how
like the
many main
guy.
characters? Like 10
Yeah.
guys.
No, but he was the main dude where all the shit rotated.
But he wasn't even a main character. You don't even see his face.
He was a
do see it.
cog.
What do you
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
You see his face.
It's about halfway through before because they always showed him from the back with the.
Yeah, he was in the
The only time they showed him
rape
from
scene.
with the Band-Aid was
When he was talking with
the
Butch.
first time.
All of his lines.
Yeah,
It wasn't until he got hit by the
Dude,
car.
you see him getting ass
Oh
raped
yeah,
over
yeah,
a
yeah. There you go. Okay, I'm
But
tripping.
that was after he got hit by the car when when
Yeah, but you
squeal
see
like a
his
pig,
face,
all that shit.
You see his face that whole entire time.
No, you don't.
well-
They didn't show his face until.
La-
God, I've
lapse in
seen this
memory.
movie
So have
100
I.
Lapse in
million
memory.
times.
Lapse in memory.
No.
However,
No.
he's not even one of the main 3 characters, bro.
Well, that depends on how you classify.
Well, I
that,
think the whole
because
story is
They
like
didn't
a-
follow his
the
specific
story rotates
storyline at all.
around him.
No, it don't around him.
Was there even
It's not
one
around
main
him.
character? I think there was a series of all.
There was
That's what I'm.
just like an anthology comic.
Yes,
of
yes.
a pulp.
But everything
Marcellus
in
Wiley-
that movie is connected to him.
Only because
He's
of what?
in it.
Because of the what are they called the
Because
red
his
herring
wife
or
was
the-
more of a main character
yeah
than he was.
What the
MacGuffin.
yeah the MacGuffin, you know what I'm saying, which they never really said, but what they had
The
the
soul.
was his soul, which is why he
The
had the.
briefcase.
Well, yeah, that's what's in the briefcase.
But that's the only reason it would revolve around him at all. Like I said, it was like Bruce Willis's character
The
had more.
The events of the movie, they start because Jules and fucking Vincent are sent there to fucking do shit for, you know what I mean, and everything.
But that's still just
is
two of the
kicked off,
people,
and
like-
it all rotates around that though.
No, it don't.
Yes, it does.
Waiting for MacGuff. A play about 2
Other than
guys
the
waiting
other-
for a guy named MacGuff. The guy MacGuff isn't even in the play.
It's like American Psycho,
It's
right?
still based on him, but
Did
it's
he
not
even
evolving.
really kill all those people? You know what I mean? That type of thing. But anyways, we're getting off subject a little bit.
But I think
Which
it's
we do a
it's a
lot.
good argument is whether it is.
Yeah, that's what we do a lot of here.
Yo, so hey, you guys in the comment sections, let us know. Do you think Pulp Fiction should be classified as a gangster movie?
I bet you
would like to
Quentin
know.
Tarantino would classify it as a gangster.
I don't think he would classify any of his movies as gangster movies.
I would
I
agree
bet
with
he-
I
that.
feel like he would feel like he was boxing
because
himself.
I already
in.
listened to him say it on a fucking podcast.
Send me that link because you're
it's
full of
on
shit.
Joe Rogan.
Send me the link.
Listen
Crime
to
and
Go
drama.
Listen to the whole podcast.
What it says crime and it says drama for Pulp Fiction. I've not seen
No,
anything.
but he said it was a gangster movie.
Was he high or drunk during that?
I watched that one. I'll have to go rewatch it because I don't remember that.
All right, so what other films you guys have on there?
I wanted to bring up just if you've seen it. It's the new Scorsese, new-ish.
The Irishman.
Yeah, The Irishman.
I haven't seen that one
Awesome movie, terrible historically.
I couldn't.
It's like the Iceman. So everybody thinks he's a mafia hitman when the Iceman was a pathological liar. It's the exact same thing with the
Yeah, it
Irishman.
did sound like a lot of. If you watch the documentaries, or the, you know what I mean. There's a couple of them, and he
Jimmy Hoffa.
It sounds
Yeah.
like he's making a lot of shit.
He
up.
did make it all up, bro. He didn't shoot God damn it. The guy who got Columbo killed. Crazy Joey Gallo. He didn't kill Joey Gallo. He wasn't even from New York. He wasn't involved in any of the New York stuff.
Well, he wasn't
of it.
even like in the mob either.
Had to paint
No,
some, paint
no.
some
Might be
walls.
just-
He was,
be
I
like
mean,
their hitman.
here's the thing. So back in that day, like if you go back in the history, the union guys, the union reps,
So
they
he-
were
they-
legit tough guys, but they weren't. Some of them were mafia guys that ran unions, but the union guys, like the Frank Sharon guys, they were legit tough guys. Like
It goes
beat
back
people up and
to
shit.
like what you were saying about it's like he's like almost street level dude that's just making shit up, and it's like who could he actually rat on or anything? He's just
Right.
making,
No, he did that. It's all been proven now. If you go back and like dig into that, he did all that to sell a book because at the end of his life he was broke and
Yeah,
didn't
he's
have
full of
shit.
shit.
And yeah, and he actually was a guy that was around Jimmy Hoffa and knew a couple things. So he upsold his own personal story
But
to
yeah,
sell a book.
all I'm saying is like you could just like on a base level, if you look at it and you like really look at it, it doesn't make any sense that he would have all that information.
Right. It's like Forrest Gump of the Mafia. Is that what that movie?
I mean, yo, you think
It
about
totally
like,
is. That's
yeah,
actually a great description.
They talk
Have you
about
seen that?
What?
The
Irishman?
No,
No.
it's
Layla.
about the Iceman. He's like supposedly a hitman for the mob.
Yeah.
But like I mean, he's got stories on stories about how he killed everybody and their brother.
But if you go back to any Mafia podcast right now, every single one of those dudes, Michael Francis, Sammy Gravano, every single
Like, we
person
don't
says
know
that
who
he's
that
a
guy is.
fucking full of shit. That guy's a liar.
I would say that I personally didn't watch The Irishman on purpose because I was kind of pissed off at Scorsese. And he's still doing it. Like right now, he's turned into a crotchety old man.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's not a great filmmaker, but him shitting on like the MCU, I have an issue with that, man.
What did he say?
He's basically talking about
butthurt.
Marvel, DC, and the Fast and Furious franchises. He's like,
He's like, it's taking over all the movies.
yeah, you know what I mean?
That's
That's not real cinema. And while I understand that from the aspect, like I sometimes have a similar aspect when we talk about hip hop artists nowadays, you know what I mean? But mine is a little bit different. Like I'm not saying they're not musical artists, and I'm not even saying they're not hip hop. I just think they need to have like their own subgenre. You know what I mean? Because if you're using autotune and singing, you know what I mean? I don't think that's not like
Emo
bars.
R&B.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's not the same as
emo R&B.
Wu-Tang, NWA, you know what I mean? These are still movies. It's not your genre, you know what I'm saying, the type of movies that you're doing. But in the same token, can you really talk shit when you did a character for Shark Tale? You know what I mean?
And people still watch other movies. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
Even
people
if
aren't
you
just
look at-
watching superhero movies.
Yeah.
And if you looked at The Irishman, there was so much that didn't need to be there. There's like 15, 30 seconds of shot of a downward angle of a car driving back and forth. There was a lot of shit that didn't need to be there. He was trying to build
and a half
to
was
mince.
like the slow pan to Robert De Niro. It was like
Yeah.
a minute and a half.
It's going back to like the Orson Welles day of Citizen Kane. This very slow. I mean, I think it's an art that's been lost, and I think there's something that can be learned from that.
It's very
but it was
beautiful.
But when you overdo it,
cinematically.
it gets.
Did you ever see The Gentleman with McConaughey?
Oh, okay, that's a different one. I was thinking about the one with Tom Hardy.
It's very, very cinematic, very artsy, beautiful. But that was the point of it. It's amazing. I highly recommend that to anyone. The
Oh, wait a
Gentleman
minute.
with Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey.
I did see that one.
He's a weed dealer in England.
Yeah, I saw that one. That one was dope, actually.
Way sick. I loved that movie.
I don't know
Oh,
if
that
I've
was a
seen
sick ass movie.
What was it called?
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman.
Gentleman.
I got it if you want to borrow it. This shit's dope.
Way sick. Yep. I went and seen that in
Yeah,
theater.
I'll watch it.
With the chick. You check this out. So when I broke up with my baby's mom, I was
Right.
like, I never been on dates before. That's how I always end up in these situations. I never like get to meet a girl, bro. This chick, I went on a day date with her to go see The Gentleman, and we both liked the movie more than each other. None of us never talked. We never talked to each other again. But that movie was sick as fuck.
All right, I have a classic that probably didn't make anybody's list, but I guarantee if you haven't seen it, everybody in here has at least heard of it. And that's The King of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken. You know what I mean? Fucking,
Frank Wright.
yeah. Frank White. That's where Biggie got his rap name
You ain't
from.
right trying to be Frank White. You getting smacked.
He was like, "You're all welcome. You're all welcome to join it." But yeah, let me tell you, the movie starts with, if you haven't seen it, you know what I mean, with him getting out of prison. You know what I mean? He's got a suit
Spoiler
on.
button, Bill.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding.
I was about to say, yeah, this movie is 30 years old plus, but it starts with him getting out of prison. He's got a suit on. He's riding the subway in NYC. He's got his little hot-ass lawyer, you know what I'm saying, that he's been boning. He's fingering this chick on the train, you know what I'm saying, got her titties out. And then, like, some street thugs walked up on him with knives and shit, you know what I mean? And this is, like, early 80s, like 81, 82. And they're going to rob him and shit. And, you know, it's this tall white dude, you know, in a suit with a white girl, and it's all of these fucking, you know, these kids. There's like probably 10 of them, and he fucking pulls out a wad of cash in a gold fucking, you know, the little cash container things for money clip, and then he shows his gun. You know what I mean? Like I could pop each one of y'all right now. You know what I mean? Them y'all brought knives to a gunfight, and then he throws him the money, and he's like, if y'all want a job, meet me at the Plaza Hotel tomorrow.
Oh,
You know
he's
what I mean?
like, I'll hire
Yeah,
you though.
but yo, that shit. But and then he did like, and you see them same kids, you know what I mean, working for him throughout the movie until how it ends with the big shootout and all that other shit. But I mean, it like you get to see him do dope shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
I got two things I want to say. So I got another movie, but first I want to say about Christopher Walken. He is my favorite bad actor ever.
Right?
Oh yeah.
He's my top.
Is that the
I
movie
love him,
where-
and no matter what,
is that
I
where the
love
movie
him.
where
But
the
he's
dude-
not a great actor.
Is that the one where the dude's like,
He's made an
get on the
example
ground? He's like, no.
of saying words and making like questions when they're not questions.
Yeah, he's
Wore this uncomfortable hunk of metal for 6 years. Up his ass.
I would have been more famous if I wasn't so creepy.
Yeah.
But the second thing I wanted to say, Carlito's Way.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen the remake.
I saw the remake first because this was when the early days of Twitter, the early days of Netflix when they first started doing streaming after sending away from the DVDs, and I only watched the first one because the new one was coming out. You know what I mean? It was like 20 years later, and I watched them both back to back. But you know what I mean? I hadn't seen Carlito's Way, and like how many rap songs had talked about that? You know what I mean? And I caught the references, but it wasn't until I saw that film. So that that's another one that's a hood classic.
So probably before digital cable, like grandma's with the TV guide where it's got 100 and a million channels, whatever.
Right.
So before those days, the only mafia movies I remember was Untouchables, Goodfellas, and Casino.
Casino.
That's all I remember before probably, early
Godfather.
teens.
Godfather and Scarface were like the
One
big
and
ones
two.
for 80s.
Godfather for me was like the beginning of my mafia infatuation around like 13, 14.
I think that one was hard to go back and watch because it's got so many slow points to it. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah,
I
those
love movies
movies
like
are-
that.
The third one was really hard.
Yeah.
That one's just a terrible movie,
Yeah.
though. That's just a bad movie. That's not.
Thank you for saying that.
It's not hard to watch. It's just a bad movie.
because a lot of people are, you can't say, nah, it sucks.
I said it.
One thing I'll say about Sopranos, and this is one of the reasons why I want to go back and actually
You
watch
should
it
go watch
now,
it all.
was that, and I was reading this on IMDb, they were talking about how like the fucking cops were looking to, looking at the cast and the writers and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like apparently like even some mob people got upset.
Yeah, people showing up to be like, hey, how'd you know?
How'd you
about
know that? And it was like, we were just making shit up. You know what I mean? It was like, well, that
Yeah,
was,
full fucking shit you were.
yeah, that was surprisingly accurate. You know what I
There's
mean?
a documentary on the Vinny Ocean, the guy that they based it off of,
Right.
the New York DeCavalcanti family. So they have like his wiretaps and shit through investigating him, and his people would be like, hey, you see this the show The Sopranos? You think they're fucking trying to copy you? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
They was talking about it. So
That's dope.
yo,
Hell yeah.
on YouTube, there's a quick little, probably like 35, 40-minute documentary. It's called The Real Sopranos. It's about Vinny Ocean, and they tie in like the show and
Right.
how blah, 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 all that stuff.
I have
So,
to check that shit out.
bro, I'm telling you.
All right, favorite
pull
character,
up my,
favorite character on Sopranos.
mine?
Yeah.
Johnny Sack.
So who was the guy that helped the
Why Johnny
uncle?
The guy that helped the uncle.
Like Bobby?
Bobby. Yep. I love Bobby's my second
though? No,
favorite.
Bobby was
Bobby's
tight,
my
and
favorite.
He got fucked over so bad.
I love Bobby.
I always
He's my
felt
second
bad
favorite.
about how he died.
My favorite is Johnny Sack because he was what I describe as my favorite kind of boss is an asshole boss because you always know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? A nice boss is going to sugarcoat shit to you, but when
he's
it
not
gets
gonna
bad,
fuck
they're going
you over.
to be snaky. But the asshole boss is going to be an asshole. Point A, point B, point C. Every step of the way, they're consistent.
Yeah,
That's
but
why I
he's-
like Johnny
and
Sack.
He wouldn't.
Johnny Sack wasn't a snake.
And he didn't fuck anybody over.
Not anybody that didn't deserve it, that they didn't know it wasn't coming. Johnny Sack was a straightforward, like, mobster.
Saying he
dude.
wasn't like a snitch.
No. And he wasn't a snitch. He didn't snitch.
Yeah, he
I
went
like-
to prison.
Yep, I like Johnny Sack. I think he was a little
I guess
overprotective
you're right,
over his
like,
lady, but
I
I also liked it how much he loved his lady.
Uh huh. Yeah, like, and if somebody like made fun of her, he was like,
He was trying to kill motherfuckers for making fun of his fat old lady. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Like, what was Steve Buscemi's character?
Who did he go
Tony
beat?
Blandetto.
Yeah,
Who did
that's
he go
my
beat
guy,
the
man.
shit
I love
out
that
of?
ugly motherfucker, yo. He can act his fucking ass off.
Bro, so you didn't see the whole shit? You don't know what happened to his character? I won't ruin it for you,
Wait,
but
when
man,
he
that was one of my favorite parts of the whole
Hey,
shit.
when he first showed up in the show,
Tony Blandetto,
no, Johnny Sack.
Johnny Sack.
He shows up in the show. I think it's in a bar or something. I can't remember, but like he ends up kicking the shit out of somebody, because he thinks they're making fun of her.
I remember they was making fun of her, and he walks in, and they knew that he was, and he's like, "What? What's so funny? What's so fucking funny?"
But I don't think he kicked the shit out of somebody.
Not that time.
He was in the bar. He was like drinking, and maybe it had nothing to do with that. But that's when I liked him. Was when he got like, you're like, oh, this guy's kind of a dork. But then he kicks the fucking shit out of that guy in the bar.
When I realized I liked Johnny Sack the most is when he was dying in prison. It was like, damn, he kept it solid all the way through. And I really loved Junior, his uncle, Tony's uncle. I love Junior's quick whips. Like, I think he was like
he was solid.
The
Junior
quickest, fast, like, response mafia. That cop walks in, he's like, "Oh, you need any help?" He's like, "Shit in your hat."
Yeah.
Even when he was going
that
senile, he was still fucking awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
But he was such a...
He was a fucking curmudgeon asshole fucking bastard for sure.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't even have the makings of a varsity athlete.
Yeah.
He always had to throw that at Tony all the time.
Yo, even
I was just watching that episode today.
So Saul, he's one of my favorite characters, and like he had a lot of... Sil?
Yeah, Sil.
No, not
Silvio.
Saul. Sil. Yeah, he's like really fucking funny too.
I like Sil too. I like when he
And
smokes
Pauly.
homeboy with the dust buster.
Yeah, like they all like their little one-liners when they come in the room, and then
I like Pauly a
They're
lot,
like,
but Pauly was such a scumbag. He's on the level of like Tony to me, to where I really enjoyed their character, but just because of what they brought to everything
Yeah, but
else.
they're not
Pauly
good.
He was always
he was
playing
such a fucking dirtbag.
He was always playing an angle.
Yeah.
Trying to play it to
Yep,
himself.
yep.
I mean, which is why
time. And I really
him
loved
interesting,
Chrissy
too.
too.
Well, he even-
Even though Chrissy was a dirtbag, he really was. I really
but
loved
he
the
never
character.
rolled on Tony.
No.
Like he never like rolled.
And at the
on
end,
him.
he passed
Pauly
up
tried to
opportunities.
fucking like switch camps.
See, but I kind of almost feel like
they
Pauly at
acted
the end
like they
might have
didn't
had
know.
something to do with the whole shit.
What
I mean, because remember at the end, he didn't want to take the promotion from Tony for the construction shit.
at the end of the show?
Can we talk about the end? The end.
The end.
Yeah.
How did it
Well,
make
we
you
were-
feel?
So
Exactly. We
what
talked about
it made
this already.
you not know. It was this. You could make up whatever you
What do you
wanted.
think happened though?
But no. Before we get to that, how did it make you feel?
I mean, like
Yeah,
almost
you
to the
were-
edge, then like nothing. And like what unresolved.
I kept waiting for
It's
something
like a
else to come
song.
back on.
It's like a song that
Oh,
doesn't
yeah, you're-
end in
you're
the
like,
key
oh.
of the note. The note.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
the
like,
root
oh,
note.
commercial.
You know, it ends on the suspended note.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, wait.
It's like it cut to commercial, but the commercial never came
I
on.
actually rewind. Like I went back and I was like, did I?
Miss something.
Right, but then I'm like watching it. So I watched it a couple times. I kept going back and I'm like, what am I supposed to see here? So and then we were talking about it, and me and him both think that it's Tony, because there's a point in the show where they're talking about
Bobby and Tony are on the
when
boat.
When you get whacked or whatever.
Bobby says.
you don't fucking see
Bobby
it
says
coming.
it's probably not that bad. You probably don't even hear it, right?
Like you don't even.
You don't even know what happened.
And so that's kind of what I think happened to him. He was waiting for his daughter,
And he gets clapped.
and he gets fucking
God, the suspense of Meadow parking. What the fuck?
Don't stop.
Believing. Yeah.
But it doesn't even say believe in. Though. It cuts that off.
It just says don't. Yeah, yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, yeah. It made me feel fuck. What's like the best way to describe it is almost like hollow, like instant, like TV static
you were
on the
like,
inside
what
of
the
my
fuck?
whole body. Like what the fuck just happened? Like I felt unfulfilled.
and they just shut it off. Like you've been enjoying this super long, like ride
Yeah,
for this show.
yeah. With
and
no
then
resolve.
It's over. Just like
yeah, with no resolution.
just like there's still unresolved shit. Like isn't
shit,
Paul,
bro.
Isn't Sil in the hospital and shit?
Yeah, Sil just got shot.
You
Bobby
never-
just got killed. We don't know who's going to be promoted or who is killing people. Remember, they just killed, what's his name, the guy they were beefing with. That his head got ran over.
Oh, he had the red car and
I forget his name now.
what is his name?
Oh, what about, what's his name? The other guy that just got out of prison with the deep, rugged voice, the old man, I forget his name now. He was in Scarface 2. Scarface's first boss.
That guy was crazy.
He was tight as shit. I like when he's telling that, yeah, you can't work here. My nephew works this
When
block.
he goes
tells
and
him,
stomps
fuck
his-
off. He fucking
Yeah,
beats him
he-
up and grabs him by his dick. You want me to fuck off? How about I fuck off all over your fucking face? Bro, that's one of my favorite
Then
parts of the whole show.
He like stomps on his leg.
Broke his arm.
Yeah, like,
Broke his arm.
is it his arm?
Curb stomped his arm.
Yeah.
Yep. After he grabbed him by his dick and drug him to the
Yeah,
curb.
that guy was out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts. And then we was talking about it earlier when Tony finds out his ex Gumar's with his like city council homie, knocks on the door and takes off his belt and just starts spanking the shit out of him.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's a really great show.
Oh
like,
my
if
God,
you get
it's-
into it, you just got to give it a minute to get rolling.
You don't if you're into mafia shit, bro, you don't even got to give it a minute. I was like I said, the first episode was slow, the pilot episode, but I was in before.
Yeah, but see, Game of Thrones was the same way for me. Like the first episode was dope, and then 2, 3, and 4 were slow. But by the end of the 4th episode, I was hooked, and then it started picking up.
Yeah.
But I mean, anytime you're setting up a cast where it's like 10 people or more, you kind of have to have that bridge because you have to learn each one of the characters. So if you don't do that, I think it's bad storytelling. Too.
Hottest chick in the show.
Huh?
Hottest chick in the show.
Adriana was pretty hot, but at the same time, that's not like what I like in a female.
Like
that look.
Chris's chick?
No, just like the extra, like.
No. Who's Adriana?
Adriana's Chris's chick, yeah.
Okay.
That's some crazy shit to me because I'm trying to stop it and I'm thinking about any of these gangster flicks, like from
some of Tony's side pieces were. Woo.
Oh yeah.
Let me think. Which one? The imaginary one was the hottest one. I think.
The one that he
the one that he imagined when he's on Xanax.
I think the chick that he was fucking that was like selling cars and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that sold his old lady or gave his old lady a ride home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was out of her motherfucking mind.
Yeah.
And
That was the
like,
crazy one that killed herself, huh?
Yeah, I gotta agree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I've seen some hot chicks in fucking gangster films, and whether they're, Irish, fucking Italian, or even some of the black ones, I can't think of a standout fucking chick in any gangster flick. You know what I mean? That was just like, yo, damn. But I mean, I also wasn't looking for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain.
I guess at the time, Michelle Pfeiffer was it for that
She
era.
was,
but now you look at her like, who the fuck wants those twig ass coked out bitch? Like,
But yo,
that ain't cute.
yeah,
That's
you know what I
not
mean?
cute.
Yeah, like there isn't like not one of them that stood out in any film I've seen. But like I said, I wasn't watching it for the chicks. I was.
You want to know something weird? What's the not Tony Montana? Michael Corleone's wife's name? In real life. Anyways, the weird thing about her is she's hotter now than she was then, and she's an old woman now.
That happens sometimes.
She's in like every old woman rom-com now. And she's hotter now than she was then.
We were talking about the same motherfucking thing.
Linda Evans is like
when we were getting Lady in the City in the backyard.
Selma Hayek's the GOAT.
Yes.
We said
yes.
Bro,
we said that. We said that. We said
bro,
that.
I was gonna ask you the hottest chick of all time.
It's probably
Selma Hayek's my GOAT.
Dude.
Yeah.
We all think too much alike.
Yeah.
Because I said that, and then he was like, "Oh yeah,"
because I totally forgot about
And then Bill
she's one
came
I
in
will
his
never
pants
forget.
a little. I think like Selma Hayek. Oh.
I always said, like, I don't care how fine a bitch is. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's Rihanna, Beyonce. I'm not licking no hoe's toes. As soon as he said Selma Hayek, I'm like, I'm licking her toes. She'd be the only chick alive on planet Earth.
If she wanted me to, I fucking would.
Bro, I've licked Rock Springs chick's toes.
I will lick her.
I can't do it, man. I can't do it, man.
If I could lick a butthole, I could lick a toe.
You know what? I'll lick an ass before I'm licking toes. I mean, I know we got off subject, but
I can lick it all, do it all at the same
Bro,
time.
yeah, I go back and forth. Toe, ass, blah, blah, blah,
I'll put my toe in her ass.
Ladies, we are sorry, or maybe thank you, however you want to look at it.
No apologies for Moshe.
Yeah, I apologize. I want to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors.
Trojan condoms.
Yeah.
And athlete's foot spray.
That'd be the fun.
Dr. Scholl's.
Right?
Listerine.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck.
Oh shit.
So what's a honorable mention? Anything we missed?
This is not even an honorable mention. This one goes on my list, and it's American Gangster. You know what I mean? It has a very fucked up ending, but I loved watching that story. Because like I said, it's like where a hoodlum stops. You know what I mean? And then it picks up on what happened after that. And I think that one kind of spoke to me too, because like you think about how different things are with how hard it is to get shit across international waters and shit like that.
Bro, he was doing it on a level that's like, especially for a black person at that time, even in this era, you know what I mean? To be able to do the things he was doing
it's probably
from a drug dealer point of view remarkable, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the mob, they were pissed at him, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't know how
they had the French connection.
Yeah, how his drugs were that strong and he was able to sell them that cheap.
The shit, if one day when you guys get bored, look up the French Connection. They had to go through so much bullshit just to get their heroin here from Turkey, bro. From Turkey, and Frank Lucas was coming from Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos,
military planes. You know what I'm
going
saying?
like really above and beyond.
Yeah, and then he wasn't cutting his shit. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it, you know what I mean? Like if you're selling a better product, you know what I mean? Imagine if.
And then he was taking turkeys to everybody on Thanksgiving.
They all do that.
Yeah, they all do that.
They all do
but
that.
you know why they do that?
What a guy.
Because that makes
because of Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah. But the reason behind that is because that
he
makes
had a Bumpy Johnson.
this motherfucker. That's because it makes the community, even if they know what you're doing is bad. If you're helping the community, they don't care because the people that are in.
Because it's just shithole already.
Yeah.
They're
It's like Donald Trump can say anything he
They don't
wants,
give
but
a
he
fuck.
knocks 5 cents off gas, and everybody forgets that he's racist and a sex offender.
Well, and
Thank
then,
you.
And if people know that a person came from where they did, and they're like, that means more than some white guy showing up and be like, "Here's a bunch of turkeys."
Here's one nobody brought up: Donnie Brasco.
Well, that's another one I saw
that is a good
way
one.
later in life.
I like that. That was one of my earlier ones, probably in my early teens when I seen that one. But
It's a movie about a motherfucking snitch.
It is.
well, I mean, technically, he's not. That's his job. Cops ain't snitches.
Yeah, it's a
Cops
good
are
point.
just doing their
he was,
jobs.
He was undercover.
He got,
Snitches are criminals who
No,
tell on other criminals to get out of
he's
trouble.
the guy that like the line got blurred and he started to.
No, Donnie Brasco
He was a cop.
Yeah, he was a straight FBI agent.
Undercover.
Yep.
Didn't he like sort of lose himself in it a
No.
little bit? Or
No.
He was good at acting, which is why he got so
So
far.
the reason why he stopped, the reason why it all came to a halt is because he was so trusted. And this is, check it out. So this is the crazy part. In real life, the Bonanno family up to that point was the only family that had never been infiltrated or had a confidential informant by a made member. They was the only family to that point. So when Donnie Brasco did that, they trusted him so much that they was going to make him. But to be made, you got to kill somebody. So he had to, hey, they want me to do this, so we got to bring it all to a standstill. We got to bring motherfuckers in now.
That's gangster. Like, isn't that crazy? Like he being a cop and being able to do that and be that convincing.
Not really.
That's pretty cool.
Because honestly, that was the same thing, you know what I'm saying, that happened with Frank Lucas's guy. You know what I'm saying? That cop.
I think it's pretty cool to be able
I
to.
just watched one today on a guy that was a Cuban that played an Italian undercover in New York, and fucking same shit. He was going to get made too, but he was a Cuban acting like an Italian.
Cuban B?
Yeah, but he was from New York, so he
I
could
do
pick
that
up the
every-
mannerisms easy.
But think about, I'm glad you said that, you know what I mean? Because there was probably a good 10 years that I thought fucking dude that played Scarface.
Al Pacino.
I thought Al Pacino was
Cuban?
fucking Hispanic. I didn't know if he was Cuban,
thought he
but
was-
he played that. He had that accent down so
That
pat.
is a legit Cuban accent. for
Yeah,
sure.
you know what I
If
mean?
You ever met anybody from Cuba?
Yes, and he's Italian. Like, I didn't know that shit for years. Same way with Andy Garcia. Like, he played so many Italian characters.
He
I
was
like,
in Hoodlum. He played Lucky Luciano.
I was like, yo, isn't this how's your
Okay.
last name?
Well, wait. Do you guys see a problem with that at all?
With what?
Nah,
With what?
Him playing a Cuban B?
No.
nah,
Well, here's the thing: is he?
convincing.
No, he didn't blackface it.
Thank you.
Well, kind of. I mean, they
No,
were.
he
No,
didn't.
Definitely
That's
put
changed.
like a tan on him.
No, quit,
No.
bro. Italians are as tan as Cubans.
Facts.
All right.
I don't know. So
I
anyway,
think I would say he adopted the role. He didn't.
he didn't culturally appropriate.
Yeah,
Misappropriate.
That's where
Yeah.
there's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that was the question. Though.
Yeah. And I couldn't think of the correct word, so thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, blackface is different. You know what I mean? If you're a white person, you put on blackface. Or if you're a black person, you put on whiteface. That is completely different from being able to look. You're already, you know what I'm saying? You didn't have to change your look. You may have had to pick up an accent. You know what I mean? But that's completely different.
But at the same time, you're not being disrespectful to another race by Al Pacino's portrayal of Scarface versus 1846 actor painting his face black.
Or like Robert Downey Jr. How that like.
And if that was a comedy, though, you know what I mean?
That shit's funny.
There's certain, like, I don't really think.
What about spaghetti westerns?
What do you mean?
The Native
natives were
American.
always
We're
white
talking
people.
about specifically,
Like the Clint Eastwood, the whole genre.
what's his name with Richard Pryor and the other one where it's N-word this, N-word that. Is that what you're kind of talking about?
No,
That's
Blazing
Mel Brooks.
Saddles.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles, that's what I'm talking about.
But the spaghetti westerns they did a bunch of westerns.
Oh, you're talking about with the natives where they had the white guys and they would paint them like natives and shit?
Well, they're all Italian people that played, and that's why they call them spaghetti westerns because they were all. And then the only thing that's cool is just the music and the guitar riff is what I like about
My
it.
grandpa loved that shit.
You know,
I'd never liked any other than Tombstone and maybe 310 to Yuma. I've never been a Western guy.
trying to
My
remember
mom
some-
was
I'll
my
find some
mom was big on it because like she's from Missouri and that's where Frank and Jesse James are from. So you know what I mean. And my mom was a cop too, so I'll be the first person to say that. So I watched a lot of mob movies and I watched a lot of fucking cowboy films.
My
you know
grandpa and
My dad's a cowboy to this
my
day.
grandpa and my dad both watched a lot of westerns, and so like I like them because of that.
And honestly, I'm glad we brought that too because it's not. I wouldn't call it
Fistful of Dollars, Man with
Clint
No
Eastwood,
Name,
right?
Fistful of Dollars. So a lot of Clint Eastwood stuff that. As far as cultural appropriation, I think that is a lot more guilty than 90% of.
what about
mafia
John
movies.
Wayne playing?
John Wayne was a fucking racist.
No, I
asshole,
know,
bro.
yeah, but
And he
he
sucked with horses.
he played
John Wayne was a Nazi.
who was the guy
Straight
that
up.
invaded China because they built the Great
funk
Wall?
The Hun? Attila the Hun? No, that wasn't the one.
Who does he play?
Who are you talking?
He
Oh,
played-
John Wayne played Attila the Hun. Yeah.
Like it's the most racist thing ever. You should.
I
should play-
I don't know if I would say that's the most racist because
It's pretty.
we have
fucking-
never seen Cleopatra played by someone that looks like they are from that country.
That's
you know
a
what I'm saying?
fact. Bro,
and I'm not
all
going to say
those,
they're
what's
black
the-
like me, but they are still African.
That movie that they made about Noah when my
Yeah.
guy
Oh,
who was
my
it,
goodness.
Christian Bale played
Yeah.
him? Or was it Christian Bale or
Yeah.
was it him?
Yeah, and that movie wasn't even biblically accurate.
No, that was a terrible movie.
Yeah, it was.
God, that was a terrible. But why so like all movies like that, Egyptians or they give them an English accent. Why is everybody gonna have an English accent?
Yeah, and you know what? That I
What about
makes
these
it
British
sound-
bands that sound like they're English or that American?
American. I don't think they did it on purpose though. Everybody sounds American to me almost when they sing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's what
That is
blows my
true.
mind is
Yeah.
how they have no accent when
how
they
the
sing.
accent disappears.
Yeah.
The funny thing about learning Spanish, they taught us to sing. They did like children's songs in order to kind of pick up the accent. And I think that was one thing that really helped me kind of learn that language, picking it up in high school.
Nice.
Well,
It's because of the way they talk is kind of sing-songy. So I listened to the Joseph Bonanno book, and that's what he's talking about. The people literally sang when they talked in Sicily. So it's like Pinocchio, you know what I mean? The opening scene where everybody's singing and
singing.
bursting out the windows. He said it was, I mean, in his words, that's what I seen in my head when he was describing it. You know what I mean? Like people spoke to each other in a sing-song way.
It's literally a musical.
It's like, da, 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 da. You know how they talk like very bubbly
That would
and
be pretty
boisterous.
dope. What if everybody like rapped at each other, and everybody was
They
like,
do.
oh,
There's-
amazing.
I know you probably haven't seen it, huh? Big Money Hustlers, the ICP movie. I know
Yeah.
you've seen
That
it.
Yo, hold
movie-
up. I am like, I tell people, for one, because I grew up in Michigan, you know what I'm saying? I was the biggest ICP hater, and I thought when I moved back to Wyoming, I got away from that shit. But
It was even more prominent.
yeah, but my son's mother, her little brother,
Chucky.
no, you don't know, my oldest son,
Oh, okay.
fucking her baby brother was like 18 right before I moved here, and he had Big Money Hustlers, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're gonna make me fucking watch this.
It's a pretty funny movie.
It's pretty funny.
The scene where that motherfucker robbed the donut store in the ape costume, that is one of the funniest things I have ever seen. He was like, and I don't give a fuck, because I'm in it. I was rolling. I was on the floor.
Yeah,
That was
know what I
what
mean?
the Misfits and shit, where they're all in the restaurant. Isn't that scene where it's like panning through and the Misfits are just sitting at the bar?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because what were they doing? Like he like
It was probably the cheesiest of all cheesy.
yeah,
However, it was fucking
it's a fucking
hilarious.
funny
If you
ass
take it for what it is, it was pretty funny.
yeah, you don't take it too serious.
Yeah, no.
You gotta do that sometimes.
Magic ninja, what? Magic,
Show us those
magic,
big fake
ninja,
fat
what?
titties, you big fake fat titty bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of good one-liners from that.
that's
That's
a good movie.
one.
I know another one. Now I'm pretty sure this one didn't make
Is that a
anybody's
gangster
list.
movie? This Big Money Hustlers?
No.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Shotters.
I haven't watched it. I can't. The Jamaican accent is so fucking thick. I can't do it.
I have to watch it with the fucking
subtitles.
The closed caption subtitles on.
Fuck that.
I have to do that with English movies though. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like when they have that really thick Cockney English accent.
Yeah.
When there's
No, you're talking about Peaky Blinders, which nobody brought up.
Right? Yeah. But shit like that, yeah, I have to do that a lot with
Boardwalk
accents.
Empire.
yeah. And
Here's one nobody brought up: The Departed.
I forgot that one is so good. I love that one. I love how it ended. That is a movie that,
Bro, I read the book. It's called Impact Statement. It's
Right.
on them. That book is way more disgusting than the movie. Like that movie made me feel funny too. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
just how like grimy they are, and
It
like
is
the
fucked up.
sex shit with the young girls and all that. That book was like hard to get through.
right?
a lot of Stephen King
there were some
shit is
disgusting
like that.
people.
Yeah, it's like that. There's 400 pages that they took out.
Yeah,
of it.
there's like
the
kids-
like jack off part of it when they're little kids standing in a circle jerking. Like what the? Why
yeah,
would he
but
do
no,
that?
she actually-
Why would he
they
do that?
That girl actually fucked every single one of
she
them
fucks
boys.
them
Yeah,
all.
I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read
it's
it.
all because we're
Flying a
all
kite.
together now.
Yeah,
And we're like, dude,
but that shit was crazy.
I love Stephen
But
King.
even before that, the kids,
Doctor Sleep was amazing.
those kids are blowing each other in the woods.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They're circle jerking. The bad kids.
No, well, are they?
Yeah. They wasn't blowing each other.
thought
They was
they were
jerking each
blowing
other
each
off.
other.
No.
Because I was like having a hard time because I was listening to the audiobook and I was like, what in the fuck?
But yeah, the one girl from the main group, you know what I'm saying? The main 6 guys. Like
Comforted them all. She
yeah,
fucked them all.
Yeah, she took all
Oh
of
yeah,
their
she
virginity.
fucked them all.
Yeah,
And that's like halfway through the book.
Yeah, it was
'cause, like-
closer to the end, I think.
No, because that's when they were kids.
Yeah, but
But
it goes back and forth.
No, they go back.
It goes back and
No,
forth.
you're right.
The book goes back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah, you're right.
That's one thing I liked
It's
about
been
the
a while.
newer movies, how they split it into two sections.
Which is what
How
they
they made it a little bit more true to the book.
And you know what, yo, they mentioned it without, like, you could tell they wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Like, people that read the book, like, I went with a bunch of people that had actually read the book, and they mentioned it without mentioning it, you know what I mean? Like, if you read the book, it was like, oh, that's what they're saying, but they didn't actually, it was alluded to, you know what I mean? In a conversation, but they didn't do like, which, you know, how can you do a flashback of kids fucking each other? Like, you can't, you're not going to get away with
I mean,
that.
they get pretty close. I mean, that shit was uncomfortable to read.
Yeah, but that you're reading it too. Like, you can't do that. There's no with all of the
Oh,
shit.
you mean in the movie?
In the movie, yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
all of the shit that, you know what I mean, you're allowed to do now. There's no way you're going to get
You
away
can have
with
a bunch of kids fucking
yeah.
each other.
bunch of-
What's your favorite foreign gangster movie?
Ooh, shit.
I'm just go since I'm already there. We'll go. I don't know if it's my favorite, but like what the best. It is my favorite. Snatch is my favorite.
There
I
we
was
go.
just thinking
That's a
that.
good one.
Or Lock, Stock is.
That's a
pretty
good
great, too.
one.
I saw that one after the fact. You know what I mean? But yeah, Snatch is mad dope.
Yeah,
I
I
love that.
like
shit.
their gangster shit because it is a lot more like mafia type shit and like.
You know what I like?
Like
Well,
they're-
this is
they're
one
like- they're-
I was having
they're
a debate with.
gentlemen, They're gentleman gangsters. You
They're
know?
not.
No,
Though.
they're not. The
They
main
just-
guy
they just
was
speak
fucking
a little bit more properly.
Yeah.
That's about the only difference. They're
They
not
was-
gentlemen
yeah, he was
whatsoever. They're
fucking
grimy
motherfuckers
guys.
up.
So check this out. That's the one thing I got into it with MC. I wouldn't say got into it. Debated with Virus about gun control. He's highly in favor of gun control laws. Basically saying that normal people don't need to have
Assault rifles.
certain kinds of guns. So anyway, but I was like, bro, go look up England's statistics at murders and their murders by knife.
because they don't have guns.
They don't have guns aren't legal in England. So everybody's fucking carrying machetes around over there. How much, bro? I'm way more scared of a motherfucker with a machete than I am with someone with a gun.
Fuck yeah! Who wants to get chopped up?
Straight up.
What?
Yeah.
Nobody.
fuck.
I've been stabbed, and I know people that have been shot, and it's no comparison.
Yeah, fuck that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
so
that I
that's-
want to
like,
get shot,
shoot.
but I've been
If
stabbed.
I
I
gotta
mean,
choose,
Where
shoot
there's
me.
a will, there's a way. If there's crime and violence, nobody wants to fucking beat somebody up with their fist forever.
No.
But I will say, like, and this is not like we're not going to get into the whole gun control thing. But as far as a comparison, though, fucking at up to a certain point, I think it was like 95. The biggest school massacre happened in fucking Australia, and they outlawed all their fucking guns, and they haven't had one since. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it works everywhere. You know what I mean? In Australia as a country,
I think Australia is isolated enough to have their own cultural differences to where they can like isolated so they can control that type of thing in a generation. America is so everybody's from everywhere. And not only that, everybody's so fucking independent that we're assholes to where
Facts.
a lot of times, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not this way, but a lot of times we care more about us than the collective.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So in other cultures, it's not that way.
That's human nature. Like people.
Not in general, bro. There's a lot of people in the world that aren't like that.
I'm talking about fucking like the tribal, like everybody. We're all gonna have our clique, and like we're like right, and those guys are fucking. It's like just what people do.
That's true.
Part of what holds us back as a race. Period is like
as a people.
If we could, you could get rid of that, and we weren't like clicking up and shit. But it gets hard when there's more. Because how many people are in like
to click up with everything?
Yeah.
Well,
you did it in elementary school with where you sat at, and you know what I mean? You did it in middle school with with girls you dated and the people you hung out with, and then to your adult life with the people that you work with. You still, when you go to work, you know what I mean? We can all be cool, but there might only be one person that you would actually hang out with outside of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you naturally, it's
like you're cool with
common ground. In prison, bro, I hung out with a bunch of murderers and meth dealers, right? I'm neither.
Right.
But that was the people who I had the most common ground with in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy how that shit works.
Yeah.
You know
So,
what I mean?
and then you go to my professional life. I worked at the Casper Housing Authority, and you know what I mean? When I worked there was a couple guys that I did hang out with outside of work. You know what I mean? When we're in a professional work environment, you still gravitate towards like-minded people.
Well, people when you like meet somebody,
You can feel a certain level.
You're like, all right, yeah, we're cool.
Well, check this out.
We
So
just become best friends.
even sane people's click up and branch off from each other. So I'm native, right? So my tribe, I'm Eastern Shoshone. When the Spanish introduced the horse to the Eastern Shoshone, there was a band of Eastern Shoshone that said, fuck you guys. They took their horses, and guess what they became? The fucking Comanches.
I didn't know that shit.
That's a
Damn.
fact. You know?
Dope. I didn't know that.
And weren't they like masters of shooting?
They
off
were.
the-
They were
off
the
horseback?
they were the supreme cavalrymen on the planet at that time. You know what the downfall of the Comanche was? They didn't do ultimate war. They didn't fight to kill everybody. They just did it for like Viking raids and shit like that, just to get what they wanted and bounce out. It wasn't to destroy everybody, because the
they weren't trying to
Texans,
like wipe
the
out.
Spanish,
They
and
did
the
it to
Mexicans.
survive. They had a respect about it. Probably.
Yeah. It was a cultural thing. It wasn't like when we go to war, World War II, right? We bombed Japan because we wanted the fucking war to be over. Like, we don't want to keep fighting. The Comanche are like, okay, they called it a Comanche moon. Every single full moon, they raided somebody, another tribe, a village, a town, something. That's what they did. It was part of their culture.
So they didn't they weren't trying to fight a war. They were.
No, there was just, so the Texas Rangers,
It was easy for them with their.
the Texas Rangers adopted their methods to surviving without water and shit like that, and all the stuff that they did, but they were fighting for
And they,
total
had
war. They were
semi-automatic
fighting to wipe
weapons.
out but the Comanches could fire 1 arrow per second from hanging
Sounds
off
like a match of
hanging off the side of a horse underneath the horse's neck. There were 0 white people on a horse that could do that with a gun.
Well, sure, but
Until
you don't need
after
to
that.
do all that to be accurate with the gun.
Right. Well, yeah, you do on a horse riding full speed.
Yeah, you do. Especially back when you didn't have
That's
fucking
not the point.
semi-automatics.
Yeah.
That's what made like the Rangers effective was their semi-automatic.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was the fact that they were fighting for total war. They didn't stop. They kept pursuing the Comanche and pursuing him. The Comanche could have wiped him out at any point, yet that's not what their tactic was. They didn't do that. That's not the way their outlook was on stuff.
History, he's going off of shit he read, you know what I'm saying? Which isn't you know what I mean?
Oh, bro, I can
Yeah.
point you in the direction of some books if you want to read about Comanches too. I got books for days on multiple topics. We could go mafia books, bro. I'll just give you a couple real quick. My favorite story wise, was Carmine the Snake. It was really good. It was about Carmine the Snake Persico, who was the boss of the Colombo family after Colombo got killed. It was really good about his rise, and then he was the boss of the family for like fucking 30-something years in prison.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Carmine Persico.
All right, I'm about to check that one out.
Carmine the Snake. That's the name of that book.
Word up. I will
The
check
one
that
I was
one
saying, 5 Families. It's like the audiobook version, I think, is like fucking 40-something hours long, but it's so information filled that it's ridiculous. Let Let me see. We got. You ever read Pimp by Iceberg Slim?
Yes.
That's a little off topic, but I just seen that one. I got Wise Guy. That's the one that Goodfellas is based on.
read that one.
By Nicholas Pileggi. Gotti's Boys. That's about John Gotti. I'm good.
Uno mas.
From where? I want 6.
This motherfucker.
Not 2 will be worth.
Smallest motherfucker in here.
This one right here is called Deal with the Devil. It's about Jimmy Scarpa. He killed, or not, Greg Scarpa, not Jimmy Scarpa, Greg Scarpa. So he's got like 200 bodies to his name. They called him the Grim Reaper. But he had, he contracted AIDS through a blood transfusion from one of his guys under him.
He just fucked everybody and gave them AIDS?
No, one of his guys was a steroid junkie and got AIDS through
dirty
needles. Yeah, and then when he was dying, his boss needed a blood transfusion. He went and gave blood because he was a big old yoked up, healthy dude. You know what I mean? And gave him.
He didn't know.
Gave him AIDS, but he was in a weird love triangle. His wife was fucking his like little guy he took under his wing for like 30 something years, and then they found out and talked about it, but he was cool with it. He's like, yeah, bro, whatever, fuck my old lady, but I'm gonna need you tonight. We're gonna go fucking handle his business.
Right.
And they did that shit for like 20 something years. But the guy is named Larry Mazza. You can find him all over the internet too.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've watched all the interviews with everybody. John A. Light, Michael Francis, that guy I was just talking about, Larry Mazza, Frank Collada, all these guys, they give their firsthand accounts of all these stories. Sammy Gravano has his own full-blown podcast. So, yeah, he could fill you in on all that shit.
Hey, you remember when the fucking feds were investigating the Wu because they had ties to the Gambino family and shit?
Gambinos?
Yeah. But like it was because, you know what I mean, they're from Staten Island, and you know there's not a whole lot of places in Staten that have black people.
That's
outside.
where Paul Castellano lived at.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, with the exception of like the 2 projects. But it was crazy just because, you know what I mean, they were friends with them. They knew these motherfuckers, so they was like, yeah, we're gonna raid your record studio because you know this motherfucker. And it's like, yeah, that's crazy.
Feds are haters, bro. They do that anyway.
Yeah.
Feds are haters.
Not even cops will do that, period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know what they say? You know, they say birds of a feather. Even if you just know somebody generally, they can use that. Try to use that.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. RICO.
Conspiracy. They don't even need a RICO for conspiracy. Fucking
Who's
conspiring too. All they got to do is prove that you had a
what was
conversation
the
with this
case
person about
where
this.
they could start doing that? Like because it was like a mafia thing, right?
The RICO?
Yeah, when they started doing that.
Racketeering, influencing crime.
Well,
Something.
Isn't that what Untouchables?
I forget.
Yeah, no, Untouchables. They got him on tax evasion.
Yeah, but
Motherfucker killed all, ordered those hits and they got him for tax evasion.
and they're trying to get everybody in the Sopranos with that shit too.
Tax evasion.
No,
The RICO.
the RICO.
So the RICO is organized crime. If they could prove that you're part of an organization that's
and they
breaking
can charge
laws,
you with any other
Yeah.
crimes.
Yep.
Yeah. I forget.
That's how they brought down the commission in New York.
I think they say in the Sopranos what case where they first did that. But
Tony was on a gun case.
no, not in the show. I'm saying like the first actual case where they did like the RICO thing.
There's a commission case. Rudy Giuliani prosecuting all the big bosses in New York.
Yeah, kind of funny. He's going down now.
Yeah, on a RICO. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Only took 40 years, but
Yeah,
got his
fuck
ass.
all them dudes.
Yeah.
Fuck all them dudes. Get them.
Is he?
You know what they
Yeah.
say? You know how they say, you know how
He's going down for what they busted Trump for.
some people say, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. People who've been to prison. Fuck that, bro. I've been to prison. Fuck all them dudes. Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, send all them motherfuckers to prison. All of them.
Where you going,
I
bro?
love that shit when corrupt motherfuckers that shit come back and bite you in the ass.
Especially the billionaires, you know what I'm saying? Because
Well,
those
bro,
are motherfuckers that get away with murder.
You watch any of those mafia documentaries, every single one of them says, guess who was buying all the fucking concrete from us for their buildings? Donald Trump.
Hey, yo, and this shit isn't new. This is the first time he's actually got caught. Like, he's been accused of this shit since the early 90s. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
he's paid off over 20 sex charges from the 70s to now. You know the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make him president. Fuck. Anyways.
Don't get me started on that one.
Yeah, not here.
Hey, and just for the record, fuck Joe Biden also.
Right? There you go. There we go.
We're not one side or the other. We're fuck them all.
Yeah.
Fuck it all. Fuck it. We don't talk about
We don't
do that here.
We ain't president supporters over here. We don't do that.
They ain't helping me.
We post memes here. So
Yeah. By the way, if you were not in the Comic Zone fucking group on Facebook, you need to be in that shit.
That's COMIX Zone.
That's right.
It's a good meme page.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why it stopped at like 800 people. It's like the weirdest thing.
We had slowed down because we were all like you, me, and Bill were hardly ever in there because we were doing so many other things. And you know what I mean? But now, now that we've got
Jenna Chanley chick's kind of out of line on there sometimes.
She does not
some
give a
wild ass
fuck.
shit.
I think she's hilarious.
She is. Yeah, she posts some funny fucking shit.
She she don't fuck around. With
she has no filter, zero.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Sometimes I'm like, is this really a person? This is like a 45-year-old fat guy behind a computer.
She's like, I know her personally. You know what I mean?
It's like there's no way a little chick is sharing this when you read her shit.
Right.
Like, damn.
That just lets you know, not just the fellas got dirty minds, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's out of line for sure.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah.
And she's cute, so she doesn't have to do anything like that. That's just her personality. You know what I mean?
I asked her once if she wanted to come on, but she was like busy that week.
She's into like anime and shit, huh?
And she is. And she's got kids.
I think
so.
all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm. Video games.
What's Bill doing?
You ever played Godfather the video game?
No, I remember when it came out. Like
I have it on Xbox One if you want to borrow it.
Word.
I got it on Xbox One.
I played the Scarface game. Oh, and Warriors. Oh my
Warriors, I love that movie and game.
Yes.
That's a gangster movie, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah, when he's
Fuck
clanking
yeah,
the
it
bottles.
is. How do we forget that?
We got sidetracked because I didn't forget that one.
Honorable mentions, colors.
The Warriors.
I got a different one. Luke Cage.
Kinda.
I haven't
Because
seen it.
There's certain scenes where there's some very
They're in
like
prison for that
gangster
one, isn't it?
ass characters.
No, Luke Cage, man, the Marvel show.
The Marvel show.
Oh, okay.
So there were some certain characters like villains that kind of took over this like music venue.
Yeah.
It was very gangster
In Harlem. Yeah.
So like it was an all black cast and like excellent and like some of the best music in it too.
Oh man, it did.
Like the score was fucking amazing.
Except for the one Puerto Rican dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The fight scenes not so much.
It was a great show, but as far as like just nods to gangster, there were some.
I would
great
say Daredevil
notes.
had some too.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
What
too,
about
you know
Dick
what
Tracy?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's definitely a mob movie. Like we because it was cheesed up.
I love Dick
younger-
Tracy.
I
It
did
wasn't
too,
based
man.
on a comic book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
one, I think, honestly, and especially for that era, they did a really fucking awesome job.
Yo,
'Cause think
you know
about,
what?
like,
Part of me having an Apple Watch was because I always wanted to have that walkie-talkie watch he had in Dick Tracy. Dead ass. You know what I mean?
Not one on your
That was
shoe.
why I had.
so I got my bracelet. I named all my pinky rings after Tony Soprano, and I wear my bracelet because of Tony Soprano, my gold one.
There you go.
That's why I had the calculator watch forever, the Casio one. It's because of like the Dick Tracy shit.
Right?
Humans
And
and their
Knight Rider.
fascination with watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Mine is what,
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
mine is what jewelry. Anybody that I thought was super, like the pinky ring thing or the pinky nail thing that started first. It's a Sicilian mafia aristocracy thing. They would all grow out their pinky nail, and then Snoop Dogg and Starsky and Hutch had his pierced. So when I was like 14, I started growing it out and piercing it, but I don't do that no more. But anyway, so yeah, the Tupac star ring. I have a star ring because of Tupac. The Figaro necklace because of Tupac. I got my gold bracelet because of fucking Tony Soprano. I named all my pinky rings after Tony Soprano.
My whole shit with chains came from the entire 90s, the whole dookie rope thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wearing them tonight, but you know what I mean? If you catch me, I always have at least two on. You know what I mean? And it came from that whole era, you know?
Dookie rope.
Well, that's what they called them. You know what I mean?
Like the Slick Ricks.
Yeah.
Yup.
Slick Rick, Cool Mo D,
Yup,
all of that.
yup.
LL Cool J.
Yup,
Run
LL,
DMC, you know?
That's just a weird name. Dude.
There's
What
a
about
lot of crazy
Even
names
worse than
for
that, Dookie braids.
sure. Yep.
You want dookie on your head?
And I had them shits too. That's one of the reasons I'm bald to this day. Because of the braids, not because I had shit head.
It's low testosterone.
Old man issues.
Yeah, I have 4 children that would say otherwise. Well, yo, any other ones that we forgot, fellas?
I'm sure there are.
Oh, sure. There's
Dick Tracy was a good one, man. That was a good one.
like we talked about the town.
That one belongs.
What makes that one gangster?
The organized crime element. Okay, so here's the difference of criminals too, right? You got your spontaneous criminals that are just jackasses breaking laws, right? But then you got your more calculated, serious criminals where this is their living. They're not robbing old ladies' purses.
They don't gotta be like in a whole big group. You're just gangster.
No. That's what we was talking about earlier.
crime.
There's difference. Like what you was saying is like this fool fucking goes in and beats up the whole bar by himself. That's gangster. That's different
he
than.
didn't beat up the. Well,
But no, I'm just giving an example. I'm just saying like there's a difference of doing gangster shit and gang activity. To be a gang, there has to be a gang, right?
So them
And the organized crime, the
them organi-
elevated
Yes,
state.
yes.
yeah, where you're
such.
doing it hyper intentionally.
Like the Godfather, the calculated, to the business
You're not
level,
just-
to the
hierarchy.
You're not
Yeah.
just going out and like robbing people on.
You're
the
not
street.
stealing purses and gumball machines and
Chain
little kids
snatching.
fucking
Yeah.
So that's why it's gangsters because they're.
There's
like
an organized
robbing
crime element.
They're
It's-
robbing banks and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Ooh,
there
yeah,
are
just
gang
extortion.
bangers and gang members who do the stupid petty shit too, but that's not like they ain't making movies about them, so that's not what we're talking about.
That movie's the shit though.
What one?
The Town.
Oh yeah.
That movie is.
What about Gangs in New York? We forgot about that one, yo.
Yeah.
Oh man, how do we forget about that? I just watched that shit. Damn.
Who's what's the dude's
Talking
name?
about
in that?
stabbing people.
Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't remember what the main bad guy is.
He's
His
in.
name's,
he's in.
Goddamn. He's the best actor of all time. I just said that right now. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm coming with his name. I just had this debate the other day.
Michael.
Nope. Why do I keep wanting to say Day?
He's in Hell. What's that one?
Hell on Wheels.
No.
No.
No,
The
no,
one
no.
about oil?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
No, that's
Yeah,
Hell
no,
on
it's-
Wheels is about the train.
No. It's
Oh,
about.
okay, my bad.
Oil. There will be hell.
Yeah. I knew that was
Daniel Day-Lewis.
There you
go. In my opinion,
Yeah, he's
role
badass.
for role, the best actor ever. Second, Gary Oldman. Third,
Ooh, I put Gary Oldman first. And the only reason I'm going to say, and I still have a couple I put before both of them, but
No, it's
Yeah,
There
but-
will be blood.
There Will Be Blood.
yeah,
there you
we
go.
All right,
But the reason I say
and
Gary
that
Oldman,
movie makes you like uncomfortable. That's how good an actor he is. That's how much of a shitbag he is in that movie. That by the time he kills the dude with the fucking bowling pin,
That's like Heisenberg, right?
Yeah.
Fucking
he's just
such a
fully
piece of
unhinged.
shit that they envelops that role and makes you not like him. That's how
Yeah,
good of an actor he is.
Well, you don't really like him the whole movie though. He's kind of a piece of shit.
I liked him better than Jesse, and then at the end, I liked Jesse better than him.
Not him. I'm talking about There Will Be Blood.
Oh, okay. No, I don't
You
think
don't
there was a
ever
point.
like him.
No, he was a dirtbag the whole movie
You're
for
like,
sure.
but when you see him climb out of that mine after he falls back down, he's trying to get the silver out and go cash it in, and he falls down and breaks his legs and like climbs out of there.
Have you seen the Sister Brothers?
The first place he goes is to cash in the silver before he has his legs fixed. And then you're like, oh, this is a greedy motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that's like the whole fucking. Have you seen it, Bill?
There Will Be Blood.
Dude,
Yeah, it's a
it's-
good one.
it's
Daniel
a-
Day-Lewis.
That movie.
yo, he's definitely a good actor. You know,
It'll
what I'm
make you uncomfortable because he does fucked up shit to his kid.
Yeah.
All kinds of fucked up shit.
Yeah. He's a good actor for sure.
Good movie.
But, the reason I said I put Gary Oldman a step ahead is because you very rarely heard him even play the same role. Like he uses a different accent. It's a
Right. That's why I put him up there too. Because role for role, it's just like it doesn't get no better than those two to me. I mean, role for role. That's why I say Christopher Walken. I love him. I'll watch everything he's in. He's not a great actor. He's my favorite bad actor.
It's like the guy that plays himself. And everything.
It's like fucking what's his nuts who played Deadpool, the worst fucking actor ever. Him and
Ryan
Vin
Reynolds.
Diesel. Ryan Reynolds and Vin Diesel are the worst actors to ever receive a paycheck
and
for
like
acting.
The Rock, they all play themselves.
The Rock can act.
A little, but it's very seldom that you see him.
I mean, he's
play.
very typecasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he can act.
He can.
Vin Diesel cannot act.
You
You can predict 99% of Vin Diesel's lines before he says them. That means he cannot act because the writers can't even write for him.
only in Fast and Furious, and the only reason I'm going to give him a little bit props because
One of them
Chronicles of Riddick was trash.
Boiler Room and Pitch Black before Chronicles.
Knockaround Guys was trash. Vin Diesel is trash.
I didn't break, but I like fucking Boiler Room and I love fucking
The
Pitch
stock
Black.
market movies, Boiler Room.
Yeah, he was in that with Ben Affleck. He had a very small role in
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I think that was his first big
Caputo.
film.
He got shot.
Yeah.
Boiler Room was a great movie.
Boiler Room, man. Ben Affleck's fucking speech in that fucking is one of my favorite of all
What's
time.
the one where Ben Affleck's a killer, but he's like autistic or something? He's like a hitman?
Yeah, like
The Accountant.
Yes, I love that. And it's got a boy that
Honorable
plays.
mention right there.
Yeah, it's got John Barenthal that plays fucking Punisher. He's like his. I don't want to say it. Never mind.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to ruin that one. Yeah,
The Accountant.
that was good.
Sounds
Very
familiar.
good. I watched it on mushrooms. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah,
Fucking nuts.
The Accountant. It is a pretty crazy. Is that what you're talking?
yeah. Because I had no idea. Like I saw that one and didn't. I had no clue what it was about. That
No,
one
I
caught
wasn't
me off
expecting
guard.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good
that's how I
movie.
was with The Gentleman. Caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it.
I didn't get to finish The Gentleman. I kept falling asleep. I was trying to watch it too late.
Yeah.
You know when you like lay down
Yeah, that's how I've been with the
and you're
Ahsoka
like, you
series.
just keep fucking blacking out. That's why it took me 3 times to watch Wolf of Wall Street like this week. Because I'd get like an hour through and fall asleep, and then I'm like, where was I, like, approximately? And just start from there.
I got to be careful when I fall asleep watching shit because I fell asleep watching Lost, and I swear there was something that happened in the episode, and I went back and watched the whole season again.
That's
It was
the
like, I
worst.
dreamed that shit, and it fucked me up. You know what I mean?
That's why you got to smoke before you go to sleep.
Touche.
No dreams.
Yeah, you don't dream about
Team no dream. I'll wake
I-
up in the
I
middle of the night
usually
if I have a
don't.
dream. I cannot do that uncomfortable, unbearable feeling the next day.
I usually don't dream either.
Or you don't remember them, but I
I
dream.
smoked them bitches away. Gone.
They gone in the mist.
Where we at? Big Bill?
Should probably wrap it up. Final gangsta thoughts.
Osh from the Ghost. Check me out. Osh Knows, my podcast, my YouTube page, Osh from the Ghost. You could get me on Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, every streaming service you could think of. Osh from the Ghost, your local hip hop, mafia, and Star Wars historian.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's
What
on
a-
board with all of those.
What a plug. My goodness.
And Mike, you want to go ahead and let them know where we at?
Go to thecomiczone.com. That's where we got all our episodes.
That's COMIX zone.
Like
.com.
like Nike said, hit us up at the group, TikTok, all the damn things. And as always, stay black.
That's right.